Welcome to the Nicole Small Show, where we give you straight talk with no chaser. Here, we discuss issues from the White House to your house. And now, here's your host, Nicole Small.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nicole Small Show. Today, we are going to go over trying to make these numbers make sense from the Detroit election. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Oh, wait a minute. Let me fix my phone. Okay, so let me start off with this. Have you been paying attention to what's going on around, not just in the city of Detroit, what we saw happen in Hamtramck, what we saw happen in Dearborn? They flipped the administration. The people in those cities are majority, super majority, right? Arab Americans, and they said, we're not going to let the Polish people represent us. We're not going to let these other people in Dearborn represent us. We're going to represent our own. So they flipped the cities because they understood the importance of having representation that understands their culture, representation that will ensure and understood that if you cross them, it's going to be a problem. Representation that was more like-minded, but it's about the self-preservation is why they did that, right? They understood that, you know what, because we're the super majority, we should have someone like us representing us. And Black people, the only race that I hear, well, I don't want to hear nothing about being Black because Black people screw over you. So white people don't screw over you no more. White people don't screw over you no more. But then you want to get out there, you want to raise hell when they disrespect you at Starbucks, when they disrespect you at Tim Fish and all of that. Don't act like white people aren't the leaders of the oppression of our race. That's the facts. So because you have a few, you know how many millions of Black people are in this country. So because you have a few that are a bunch of F-ups, you just gonna dismiss having Black representation in a super majority, in a city that's super majority Black. Make that make sense to me. I'm so sick of Black folks talking about race don't matter. That's exactly why we in a predicament that we in right now. That's exactly, we the only race to say this dumb mess. Nobody else says that or does it. And for you to re-elect Mike Duggan speaks volumes at a time when down south they get it, in Hamtramck they get it, in Dearborn they get it. People understand the power of money in politics. I don't know why we can't understand that. It's like it's our kryptonite to have better. And I've always said, if you was going to elect a white man, that you have to go get the most treacherous one who has a track record of dismantling Black communities. But that's what you wanted, so that's what you got. But I don't know if that's really what the majority of you wanted based on looking at these numbers. I'll be honest with you. The numbers definitely don't add up. And we've been saying this over and over and over again for quite some time about how the numbers just don't add up. But also, before we get into that, look at what happened in Pontiac. They got a white mayor now, Tim Grimo. We worked with him on a charter commission on some language. He's an attorney for ASME. So now he lived in Auburn Hills. Look at that. He lived in Auburn Hills and went on over there and became the mayor of Pontiac. Sound familiar? Gangster. When y'all Black folks gonna start moving in the white folks' neighborhoods and y'all just gonna take over? I just want to know, what day is that gonna happen? Because I want to see it. When y'all gonna do that? You can't count Obama. No, I'm talking about when y'all gonna move it to somebody's city and you just gonna go take over. But Tim did that. He made it work. Interesting. But why not? See, everyone else takes advantage of these opportunities except for us. Well, that's probably because no other race creates these opportunities for others except for us. That might be the issue, right? No other community creates these opportunities for others except for us. So maybe I need to go back to really rethinking and digesting that part of it. Yeah, and then what happened in Southfield? Southfield, the sister was running. Is it Tawanya Morris? I know a lot of my people voted for. Unfortunately, she didn't make it. What was? Let me look at what was the outcome of that race. What's this guy named Ken Siver or Siver? Kenson is his name. Kenson. So you had a strong black sister out there running in Southfield. And let me tell you something. You know, I have to remind these folks in Southfield sometimes because y'all be really thinking that y'all live in the burbs. You know, I could walk from my house to cross 8 Mile and be get to 10 Mile. That's only less than 2 miles. So y'all ain't that far from us in Southfield. You know, because y'all, it's not the old Southfield. The new Southfield, I be seeing the same folks who walk up and down my street. Y'all got the kids with the pants sagging. Y'all getting more and more liquor stores. Yeah, but you still have some boundaries out there in Southfield. I'm gonna give you that. Lathrop Village still not even as white as it used to be. But you do have a black mayor in Lathrop Village, Kelly Garrett. Y'all couldn't elect that sister out there. Why is that? Why is that? You still got a white Oakland County prosecutor. They say he more progressive or whatever. I don't know, so I'm not going to speak on it. I'm just saying. You couldn't elect that sister out there? Because y'all didn't come out and vote. As many of you that should have. You didn't come out and vote. Because you know why? You didn't understand the importance of securing and activating power. That's why. Right? Just like here in the city of Detroit. But I do want to say this. The topic of the show is about Detroit being the GOAT of elections, right? Gangsters operating all tactics of elections. That's what this show is about today in the city of Detroit. Gangsters operating all tactics of the election process, because that's exactly what happened. Now let's dive into these numbers. Now, according to the city clerk's department, with 100% reporting, we have had 93,694 people vote. That's only 18.66%. That's low, right? That's really, really low. That would have even been low for a primary, considering how you got 500,000 people registered to vote. That's really low. But let's talk about that. I was out there on election day. Some of you on this feed were out there on election day too. It was dead. Okay, it was dead. When you look at people who went in the evening, how they might have just merely been number 200. See, you hear those numbers and it sounds low, but I don't think that you understand to what extreme, right? But let's talk about how these numbers don't add up. Now, what did they say happened in this mayor's race? So Anthony Adams had 22,374 votes. Mike Duggan claims to have 69,329 votes with 408 write-ins. You know, that's still like 1,000 and some odd less than the number of people that they said voted, because that only comes up to like 91,000 or something. Why is it that the mayoral and the clerk seats, who always the first to report? Before I delve into this, I want you to think about something. This is how I knew that we wasn't going to win on this campaign. I knew before 9 o'clock. We counted our votes. Let me tell you something. We counted our votes. I excluded the people who lie to your face and be telling you they're gonna vote for you and they not, right? Even though they had two options, they wasn't gonna do it. They just, and that, you know what killed me? I don't even ask you if I had your support. You come lying to me, but that's okay. Then I excluded the people who were on the fence. Keep in mind, some of those people that I excluded, probably some of them did vote for me, right? It just wasn't, they're not high propensity. I wasn't sure that they were gonna vote. But we still had 35,000 and something strong from the people we had counted from the primary. Went back and revisited because we had more than 12,000 votes in the primary too. But I'm gonna get to that, right? I'm gonna get to that. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Listen, I didn't know if the numbers we had was gonna mean that we won. What I'm saying is that myself and others worked for those votes, and y'all didn't bear the fruits of your labor. That should be your problem, not whether or not we won. How you were robbed again. And you notice how they always rob us in that large elections. I knew this going into it, though. I knew this going into it. And I did it anyway. And I asked you for your support anyway. But hold on. So before 9 o'clock or around 9 o'clock, I looked, and I swear Mike Duggan and Janice Winfrey had about 38,000 votes already. Just boom, they just appeared, just like they did in the primary. I said, well, damn. I say, well, there go Anthony and Denzel. I said, I guess they're going to get to my black. You know what next? Because I already knew it. Like, you just appear with that many votes. Just poof, here they are. And here's my frustration or my lack of understanding. White folks who love Mike Duggan can't stand Janice Winfrey, but they're not the majority of voters. Just hear me out. White folks that love Mike Duggan can't stand Janice Winfrey, but they always join to the hip when it comes to voter turnout, right? It used to be a point in time when they would just stack the deck for the candidate that they wanted to push through. Now, look, I'm just, those of y'all who've been doing this for a while, a lot longer than me, you know, or those who've been intimately involved, especially if you was able to, you know, make sure that your person won. Just be honest. Isn't that the way it used to go? I know I'm not crazy. So, like, say you would take a look, you'd be like, you know what? Either we real close to the other candidates, so we gonna stack the deck by another 5,000, 3,000, 5,000. You would give it to your candidate that you wanted to win, because y'all could kill that. I'm not bad. I'm not saying this. Look, the deck was stacked when I ran, and I ran for city charter commission, right? The only difference is that there was so much going on in the gubernatorial election. The slate I put together, we were able to garner enough of a buffer, right? That we still, four of us still made it through. Now, that's just honest to God truth. So don't think I'm just saying it now. But these local elections, they get real down and dirty. And it's always around these at-large elections. They do some other stuff sometimes in these districts, but this is why we should have just all stayed at large. So hold on. So Mike Duggan and Janice Winfrey before 9 o'clock just start off with 38,000. And like I said, I was like, well, I know that I'm about to go down on this Titanic with Denzel and Anthony. That morning, I had already said, if we don't get about 38 to 40,000 votes, and that's what them stealing, I was like, then they just hijacked us, right? So I take a look at that. I said, all right, so we know what that's going to be. Then you mean to tell me Denzel McCampbell gets 25,830 votes. Janice Winfrey gets 64,332. Now remember, Duggan got 69,329. Because you know everybody love him. Now Janice Winfrey been in office for 15 damn years. Mike Duggan been in there for 8. Janice Winfrey is a Black woman. She has a lot of support from the Divine Nine, a lot of elders like her. She goes to Greater Grace. She has a lot of support from a lot of these churches, even though they hoop and holler about how they won't change and more transparent elections. I'm just being honest with you. Like, there is a certain level of support that comes along with that. Keeping it 100. Not saying that Janice Winfrey wasn't going to win. What I'm saying to you is Janice Winfrey got 69,332 votes. 64,332 votes. And Mike Duggan got 69,329. The same difference that they had in the primary. Because both of them had about 50,000. She might have had 48 and he had 50,000 in the primary, right? And then they both got around 13,000 at the polls. They consistent with their stuff though. Hold on. So let's get to this. So you gonna tell me that everybody who liked Mike Duggan like Janice Winfrey? Two totally different animals. Now, black women are the highest voting, highest percentage of voters in the city of Detroit. And there may be a lot of people who are very frustrated and disappointed in the outcomes of these elections. But you gonna tell me that they always stay that close? Have you ever seen Mike Duggan and Janice Winfrey campaign together? No, never. Have you ever seen? I've never seen them campaign together. Hell, we didn't even see either one of them campaign this year. Remember when Janice Winfrey was supposed to go on that bike ride to get out the vote and she didn't show up for that? That was going to be the only campaigning because she knows she don't have to. And Mike Duggan just put up some damn billboards that he didn't say vote for me because he didn't want the people to really know it was an election, right? All Mike Duggan said was some lies about the houses he tore down and all of this other stuff. But hold on. So just think about that. Neither one of them made it to eat. They're both like more than 1,000 votes off from the number of people that they claim voted in this election. Again, they claim 93,694. And if you add up for both each race, for the mayoral race and then for the clerk race, including the write-in, nobody even gets to 92. Nobody gets to 91,500. So everybody voting and they just not voting on the clerk and the mayor. That's all I want to know. Is that what that is? So in the primary, Denzel and I had about 12,000 each. So in this general election, you're going to tell me Denzel and I both got 25,000 votes each? Let me say this. Denzel and I do have some of the same base of voters, but we all know I have a stronger reach to people across the city, especially with the seniors. I went to more than 50-something senior homes. And wasn't nobody rah about how, well, I ain't voting for you because I like the other two better. It was always either, I wish I would have known you earlier, or, oh, we definitely going to support you. And they figured out who the other person was going to be. Now, that's on everything. That's on everything. And these folks ain't blowing no smoke up, yo, but they ain't like the rest of these stepping and fetching Negroes that they got out here, okay? Every candidate form, I took it home. Everyone. But before all of that, who had the most publicity? I know Denzel had more than 25,000 votes too. I know that he did. He had so many young people. Now, would he have been Janice Winfrey? I don't know. But I know he got more than 25,000 votes. Just like I believe Anthony got more than 22. So you're going to tell me I only got 3,000 more votes than Anthony Adams? It was stronger support for Mike Duggan than it was for anybody else in my race for me to go against. Coleman had to have the highest name recognition, right? Think about them numbers. So Nicole Small only got 3,000 more votes than Anthony Adams. Bullcrap. We know that ain't true. You gonna tell me that we all only got 20-something thousand votes. So let me tell you about my experience in the community. I get it that Mike Duggan is the incumbent. I get it that some of you black folks talk about, you have said it to my face that we need a white mayor in order to do business. I don't know how the hell you think that you sitting in this city right now. I don't care if you 80 years old. Coleman Young built black millionaires. He created black millionaires in this city, right? And he created jobs in the city of Detroit, and the vast majority went to black people. And some of the same ones sitting here collecting that hefty ass pension check, even the ones who got it cut, is because of Coleman Young. Dennis Archer did something for you too. I know he ain't everybody's favorite, but he did. So how you gonna tell me that a black person can't attract businesses in this city? That's the most ignorant statement I have ever heard. You don't have a fundamental understanding of how municipal government and business go hand in hand, because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Now just say that you want to vote for the white man because you want a white mayor. Some people think that the white man's ice is colder. They literally do. I respect that. But you can't tell me a black person can't attract business to the city. So what they gonna do? Dan Gilbert gonna pack up and leave? Hell no. You know what Dan Gilbert gonna do? He would call that black mayor in his office and be like, listen here, so what we gonna work out? Because business people do business. Business people don't invest millions and millions of dollars into anything and walk away because of the color of the skin of the person. Not in this day and age, not for that kind of business. Now they might screw you over because of the color of your skin, but if you think that Maddie Maroon, Dan Gilbert, Sue Mosley, the people down there at the Sherm place, all of these Marlowe, whatever them developers are, y'all know who I'm talking about. They signs all over. If you think that they gonna leave and stop doing business in this city because a black person win as government, as mayor, that's stupid. And let me tell you why it's stupid. It is. It's just stupid. There is no documentation, no proof of that. You have no facts and evidence of that. But I can tell you what I got facts and evidence of. They're not gonna leave. They're not going to leave with that type of investment, right? Because you look at how much they've invested. You know what they do? When in Rome, you do what the Romans do. They're going to do whatever they need to do to work with that mayor, whoever he or she could have been. And they just might have to play a different set of rules, right? So instead of Dan Gilbert being able to buy up 80% more or whatever district he wants, maybe he only gonna get 40%. He's still gonna be rich. Instead of Dan Gilbert, see, it won't stop Dan Gilbert from getting tax subsidies. And this is why I want y'all to understand the numbers. Everybody don't love Mike Duggan. I've been all across this city. And after people hear me speaking, the first thing they say, well, Nicole, what do you think about this mayoral race? I don't know, Anthony Adams. It might be what they say. Or he worked for Kwame Kilpatrick. And I have to explain to them, well, why you not mad at your current deputy mayor who worked with Kwame Kilpatrick and was the first deputy mayor, not Anthony? Hell, Kwame didn't even finish his second term. So what that got to do with anything? But you don't say nothing to Mike Duggan about having Conrad Mallett as his deputy mayor, right? So let me explain something to you. And I explain that to them and they say, oh, okay. People ain't all that enthused with Mike Duggan. For him to get 70,000 votes, again, why does he always get 70% of the vote? 70 to 73%. Him and Janice Winfrey, every time. And anybody that he wants. Because if Janae wouldn't have had the feds tapping on her door, oh, you best to believe she would have won. She probably would have won if I wasn't in the race. But she would have won by a large margin. I'm saying even with the FBI investigation, she probably still would have won if I wasn't in the race. But she would have won by a large margin because that's how he gets down. It's something about that 70% that he always has to win by. You noticed? You notice, right? But white folks who rich and who real business people not gonna leave this city. Like I said, Dan Gilbert would still get tax subsidy, but this would be the difference if you had a strong mayor that really understood how to apply business principles that wanted to. I do believe Mike Duggan understands that. But if you had a mayor and a city council that wanted to apply business principles to make sure that they benefit Detroiters, this is what would happen. That Ford train station and everything that they do, they would still get it. They would still get the land for cheap, right? but you would have more black contractors and you would have more meaningful investment in your community. See, that's how it goes. They not going to pack up and leave. Only an idiot will pack up and leave because it's a black mayor. That's just stupid. That's stupid. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get a black mayor to go in there and be dumb, telling them that they not going to get nothing. Hell, they are rich. They do bring money into this city. In order to operate a city, you have to have a stream of revenue. Hello. That would just be an idiot of a mayor to do that. And I don't care what you say. Rich folks like staying rich. And I don't blame them. They like staying rich. And nobody's going to go through that. You know who does that? Petty people and people who ignorant. You think somebody going to pack up all of this investment in the city? We 8 years in and they going to leave because it's a black person who mayor. Based on what? Like, what research have you done? Because I've never seen that happen anywhere before. So what's going to happen in New York? Let's talk about that. What's going to happen in New York now that they got a black mayor? Them Jewish people going to take their stuff and run? I doubt it. Do you know how many other races than African American actually do business in New York? That's just like here. You think those Asian people and everything gonna stop buying houses here in the city if we have a black mayor? Nope. Because they don't care. It's about the green. That's what it's about. So when you look at these numbers, what I'm saying to you is you do have a few people that'll make that ignorant statement. Because it's not based on anything but self-hatred for your own people. That's what that has to be, because it's not based on anything else. So you're going to tell me again 69,000 and 64,000, right? And then let me show you something about the number of people who voted. Hold on one second. Who voted in the election. So for District 2, let's look at District 2. You mean to tell me how many ballots were mailed out? Hold on, let me see something. Let me tell you how many ballots were mailed. Uh, 13,000. No, it had to be more than that. Oh, here it is. 18,000. Yep, were mailed. How many? Exclude the people who voted. Let me get this. Hold on. This is District 2. They say 67,262 people are registered to vote. That's how many are registered to vote. Exclude the people who had voted early. And it's still 67,262. If we exclude the people who were mailed a ballot, it's 63,000. So you're going to tell me it's 63,000 folks in District 2? 63,000 they got a ballot. But only, let me see, what did they do in District 2? Did we get 10,000 people to vote? How was that? Now, that's the part that's our fault, right? That's the part that's our fault. How the hell we got that many people in this district right here? and we can't get nobody else out to vote. They didn't even know about it. You know why? Because we have allowed someone else to come in and create their own electorate base. They created it. When they withheld information, they didn't do G.O.T, any of that. It was all by design, right? It was all by design so that people wouldn't come out and vote. Where is this District 2 at? What am I missing? City. Oh, they go down in descending order. 9 and 8. So you had 17,000 people to vote in a district where it's 60-something thousand registered voters. We allowing somebody to become mayor, even with cheating. You gonna tell me that only 17,000 people voted in the highest voting district? Somebody need to be in trouble. Somebody. You don't have that many people that just don't care. I know we got a lot now. I'm talking about in one district. Just in one district, in District 2. The numbers don't get no better in District 1 either, because they high voting, or District 5. Y'all had 12,000 people, but you had a council person uncontested. She was unopposed. You got 60-something, and you know some of them people not alive, because when I was running the numbers early on, I've been chasing absentees before the absentees came out. Why is the clerk mailing ballots to people who are 111 and 115 years old? Real facts, like literally 111, 115 years old. I got more respect when they had the lights to go off in Cobo Hard and this mess they doing. So you just gonna take a gang of votes away from people? This is why people talk about votes not counting. But do you know how we should have avoided all of this? When we seen this garbage in the doggone primary, right? No, before the primary results came out. Do you ever ask yourself this? Why was it all of this hoopla last year for the presidential election? Why did the Secretary of State have such a strong interest in making sure that we had a fair election in the city of Detroit, or where she lives? And then she don't give a damn when the city of Detroit have a city of Detroit election. Where the governor? Where is the AG? Where the attorney general? How that work? Nobody gonna tell these folks about how important it is to vote now, right? That's what we gonna do, because that's exactly what happened. And don't get me wrong, I said this before, I strongly understand your frustration with the city clerk. But sometimes I think we need to take a step back. Who you letting get away with the real murder, right? I feel like Janice Winfrey is just an accessory. Who really committing the crime around here? I ain't making no excuses up, because she is the clerk. She is paid with public funds to do a job, and to do a job well. This whole high percentage of you can't recount the votes is a problem. The fact that we have 60-something thousand people registered in District 2 alone, and we gonna turn out 17,000 people, something's wrong with that, right? Something's wrong with the fact that we had 20-some thousand outstanding ballots not turned in on election day. So let's talk about that number. I know it was a lot of people dropping off ballots at the ballot box on Tuesday. Wasn't that many. The polls were dead. Let me tell you something. On election day, we only had maybe 50,000 ballots. Maybe 50,000 ballots have been turned in before they went. I don't know if they pick them up every day or every other day. I don't know how that works, right? But I know they were picking up ballots Tuesday morning from different locations. But you mean to tell me that we only had about 40-something, 50,000 ballots turned in? So you gonna tell me 40-some thousand people came to the doggone polls. No, including the others between the polls and the people who turned in their absentee ballots. So that was like another 48,000. If you don't get up out of here, you know you a lie. I didn't see a long line down the street anywhere of people dropping off their ballots. You saw some consistency, but remember in 2020 how there was a long line of people waiting to drop off their ballot? They had to have people going up and down the boulevard everywhere to go and catch the line up. Did y'all see that this year? Because I didn't. And I told you on my live, I was on the east side, the west side, southwest side. And I'm just wondering how that worked. Where all them votes come from? Do you believe that we had 90-some thousand people to vote? Because I'm wondering if we did. You had that many outstanding ballots. Only 40,000 people had turned in their ballots by that Monday. And so all of a sudden, we don't see no long lines at the polls. I don't think anybody probably had to wait to vote. You didn't see a long line of people anywhere dropping off their ballots in the absentee ballot box, drop box. But somehow we found them in 50,000 people all of a sudden on election day. That's that new math. You know how these kids be coming home and you be like, look, this is how you do percentages. You put you put this over this and this over. No, they got this whole other way where they got to go through 50 more thousand steps just to confuse you. That's what I think happened on election day. And the sad thing about it is you got some people who claim to be for the people who participated in these shenanigans to steal this election from you. To steal this election from you. I'd rather you cut the lights off and find 3,000 if I had to choose. But just to rake the people of like tens of thousands of votes, that's gangster. That's gangster. When none of these numbers add up. None of these numbers add up. Let's get to these proposals. Because that was my favorite, though, these proposals. Let's see. So, for Proposal E, this is a city where we have a higher literacy rate. And I just want somebody to explain this to me because I might be wrong. We have a higher literacy rate in the city of Detroit. And you're going to tell me that in a city like this, Detroiters knew what entheogenic drugs were. And I got a master's degree from an accredited university, and I don't know. Huh? They knew what that was. Because when I went around talking to people, most people thought that it was marijuana. Them old folks fought tooth and nail not to not to legalize the medical use for marijuana. So now all of a sudden, they're going to vote to decriminalize it. You know how they are in Detroit. They ain't buying it. Not the seniors. And here's the thing. More than 70% of the voter turnout were seniors. But they voted for this. And especially when they found out it was to decriminalize shrooms. See, that's another thing. Y'all black folks know that y'all got a bunch of people locked up. You white folks too. You got more people locked up for marijuana than you do mushrooms. And we going to put this in the forefront of marijuana when we didn't do our job to decriminalize marijuana. So you going to tell me 53,000 people in the city of Detroit who don't even know how to pronounce or understand what kind of plant-based drug this is, and we didn't have a high voter turnout of young people, because younger people would have voted for this. I'm saying the super majority of people who voted were either ghosts for them, them ballots that they added in there, or they were seniors. And a lot of seniors didn't even get their ballots. That's a whole nother issue, why these numbers don't make sense. So you're going to tell me 53,710 of them voted to decriminalize mushrooms, which is a hallucinant. Yeah. So now we progressive in Detroit. We progressive, right? 34,000 voted no. Get out of here with that. First of all, for it to be that close is just insane. Proposal R, I expected that to pass, even though y'all gonna get enough. You gonna get enough. You gonna get enough of diminishing your power. I promise you, you gonna get enough. In the city of Detroit, blackest city, you gonna let them give you a doggone task force. You know it's a sin and a shame. A task force. You couldn't even get a commission. You just let people just dog walk and disrespect you all the time. A task force. Do you not understand that reparations is more than just a task? All of the work that people like the Honorable, I keep telling you, John Conyers, Joanne Watson, and others did around real reparations, and the work that people like her are still doing around reparations, you gonna let them give you a task force. Boy, let me see. I'll keep telling you, I wonder if they'd have went to the Jewish community and offered them a task force, how that would have worked out. Right? How that would have worked out. That's like the difference between a resolution and an ordinance. So you just gonna let them water down 400 more than 400 years of trauma. Good luck. But then black folks don't vote to amend Proposal S. So you could get your compensation in reparations, because that was going to fix it. Right? To amend Proposal S. It's gonna fix something all right. It's gonna fix something all right. If you would have opened up that doggone can of worms with that loose language. It's gonna fix it. It was gonna fix something all right, but it sure wasn't gonna be for y'all to get reparations. I just don't think any other race would tolerate that. To know what generations and generations of people have experienced as far as trauma, disparities, inequities, especially when it comes to that paper, that money. They not buying it, but here we go. So now we're gonna have a task force. They have task force to hire people for skilled trades. So hiring people for skilled trades is on the same level of reparations for black folks in the blackest city. That's what you're gonna tell me. A task force. That's what y'all let happen. But like I said, these people came out according to these numbers and voted to decriminalize mushrooms. It's a new day and age, and I'm just gonna tell you, it's sad. It's sad to look at these numbers and how none of them add up. And what they are doing in these citywide races is what I'm trying to tell you is criminal. But the lower the voter turnout, the easier it is for them to dictate the outcome. That's what happens all the time. You had that many ballots mailed out, right? To people that you know are deceased, to people that you know are highly unlikely to vote because they probably haven't voted since Obama. There were all kind of people getting absentee ballots that didn't request one. But those who are on the permanent absentee list, I promise you, ask some of the seniors in your family or in your neighborhood, how many of them received a ballot? There are so many that didn't. Why didn't they receive a ballot when they're on the permanent absentee list? But people who never asked for one received one because they knew that they were highly unlikely to return it. So what happens is that once an absentee ballot is mailed, it's on the books. You know how we talk about there are so many votes that can't be recounted. So when they mail you out, now you're on the books for having a ballot issued to you. But if you don't return it, how it get counted? Somebody else must have returned it for you. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. But if we don't do something to increase and to expand our electorate of people in the city of Detroit, we will continue to lose because we lost again. We will continue to lose. That's the bottom line. You look at what they do in Oakland County, but how quick they process their absentee ballots. But we still go down Moses, way down, just drudging along, wading in the water to get these absentee ballots counted. So we can't change our process. We could, but they're not until we change what we do. Let's take a caller. Good morning. Welcome to the Nicole Small Show.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Elena.
I wanted to backtrack a little bit from this election also to the point where so many people were kept off of the ballot to be legitimate candidates.
Mm-hmm.
So there was so many areas that didn't have a primary, and that was very clearly to keep people from going to the polls. But it also served to keep us having to vote, for example, in District 3, for a criminal when there was a good candidate who was kept off the ballot for no reason. I'm talking about Scott Benson and Adam Mundy.
Mm-hmm.
So because I feel that it was, now we're forced into having these really terrible choices for candidates. I think we need to fight back. And one of the things I am doing is I'm making a FOIA, a Freedom of Information, for all the information that went into that decision to keep Adam Mundy off the ballot. That letter was signed by Butch Hallowell. Butch Hallowell was very present in the Duggan recount when we first did that with Citizens for Detroit's Future, with Tom Barrow recounting the Duggan vote. That's when I first realized that there was a lot of signatures that looked exactly alike to write in Mike Duggan. But it took about 4 days to see the matches because they had so many different signatures. So the fact that they cheated to keep people off the ballot, I think we have to backtrack all the way to the point of absolutely crushing any kind of interest in the elections by showing how boldly stolen the election was.
Okay, so then we do that, and then what? So we prove but no, I'm saying because we proved it several times over. Is that a good use of our? And then what? How is this going to change anything?
I don't have the answer, but I do think that going after the attorneys that are part of this has to send a message to somebody.
Well, why don't we go after Lawrence Garcia? He already got some issues over there with the Inspector General. I'm just saying.
There's definitely a movement against Garcia, and he's not going to fall on his knife for Duggan. I'm sure he's not. I hope he doesn't anyway. He's such an idiot, it's hard to tell. But I do think that Butch Hallowell needs to be gone after because he gets away with this over and over and over again in these elections, and nobody makes any kind of pushback to them. They just get to walk around there with impunity.
But what kind? That's no, Elena. I keep saying, what kind of pushback? Like what? He did his job. He's an attorney. He's masterful. You can't go back and get him for what happened for Citizens for Detroit Future. No, hold on. This is my point to you because this is why we don't get anywhere. We gonna go do what to Butch Hallowell because he did his job. He's masterful, and wait a minute, he's masterful, and he's not going to be disbarred because he's masterful at election law. What he did is bullcrap. I absolutely agree with you. But you know where the real problem lies? It's not with Butch Hallowell, with the damn person who leads the department who did not notify Adam Mundy that he had a problem, that he was being challenged. See, that's what I'm saying. Why we gonna go after Butch Hallowell when Adam Mundy wasn't even notified? He didn't even know. That's where the problem is. How do you not let a candidate know that they are being challenged to be kicked off the doggone ballot? How does that happen?
They never say what the challenge was. They never say what the challenge was or who presented the challenge. They never did that.
Nope, never did it.
Who challenged? Why? They just said no. The challenge was with Scott Benson because he didn't want to have to run against him. Duggan didn't want anybody to run against Scott Benson.
That's right.
He gets a few votes from him before he goes to jail.
That's right. So we gonna go, but that's my point to you. We gonna go after an attorney who's slicker than a can of oil going down a fire pole when we not gonna go after the person in the department who didn't do their job to notify him and knew that if they didn't notify him and this made it to the election commission on the day that they're certifying the ballot, that he was going to have very little recourse in order to get back on the ballot, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, let's talk about where the game's really being played. Somebody called Butch Hollowell. Butch Hollowell is not going after Adam Mundy. Butch Hollowell was called up to do his job because he's a slick attorney. But you have a judge who decided to go along with it, and a clerk's department that went along with that. So that's what I'm telling you. What we gonna do about that? What we gonna do about them not notifying them?
What are we gonna do? We have no avenue of redress in the court. What are we gonna do?
Because that's where the problem lies. Why would we waste time going after Butch Hollowell is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Just like why nobody ever goes after Jocelyn Benson.
What do we do to her? Besides vote her out.
Well, but if we can show up, this one I don't understand. We showing up for Janice Winfrey, but we don't show up for her. I don't understand the strategy is that's all that I'm saying to you. Like, I get it that there's a problem at the city clerk's office. I agree with you. I agree with you that Butch Hollowell has done some dirty stuff to the community so he could be aligned with Mike Duggan's agenda. I agree. But when it comes to us being able to wield our power and maybe getting some changes, are we always targeting the right person? And I don't think so. I don't think so. Because why does Duggan continue to be able to win and to do the things that he does? Because of his soldiers. Now, when there's a war, this is what I'm gonna say. When there's a war, Elena, think about it like this. Do they go out there and just kill the general? No, they kill off the soldiers. That's who the attack is on.
Yep. Or they just buy them up.
Oh, they do what, Elena? They just buy them off. You're right. You're right about that. You are so right about that. But I'm saying we're watching the people who live around the corner from us, and I know I'm being facetious, but they do. Like who we have access to, and we allow them to be the people who are really fueling this type of egregious behavior. Let me say that, because the behavior is egregious, right? You start taking votes away from the people who voted. That's a problem, right? You don't inform a candidate, and that candidate has that Adam Mundy, he had his signatures to get on the ballot, and you know what the problem was? He must have had far too many signatures for them to kick him off of invalid signatures, right?
Right.
But at the same time, Janae Ayers and Mike Duggan wasn't supposed to be on the ballot either. How that happen?
Right. It's so boldly corrupt. Well, if somebody decided to make Benson the target, I would be absolutely down for that.
Well, see, here's the thing. While you know, that is I think that his content of character as far as Benson is gutter. Let me be honest with you. Any man who sits up here and says that a community of people, that there needs to be a public conversation about city council not supporting water services, maintenance of water services for a community because they're always going to flood. So what are we going to do? Just allow them people to have unfiltered water or whatever so they can die sooner? So when you say stuff like that, there's no coming back from that. Anytime you say if people want their dollars, because they have been overtaxed, they can go and get it from the zoo. I'm like, that's you as a person. Like, you know good. You rotten to the core. But are we gonna, when it comes to Scott Benson, do you or don't you believe that soon he may be in the same position as Spivey?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So with that said, while we're going to be trying to fight him now, who we got to run? Then we're going to need more than one strong person.
Will we even be able to have a special election?
Well, you know they're not going to give us one in the beginning.
Right.
You know we're not going to have one in the beginning. Right. You know they're going to play this game. Now, this is what's going to be good. These 6 new council people that we have up there. Oh, now we going to see. because I'm glad we have 6 new council people. I am so happy. If y'all can't make this vote happen to where we get a person that we need to be selected before the election, and if they don't support having a special election, like maybe in March of next year, if he gone by then, I'm telling you, the floor is gonna be creaking. Now I'm gonna have faith in some of them. I don't know. Now we had 6 new ones, 6. Now one of them we know we definitely got to count out. But I'm just telling you, are we prepared to run somebody? And we're gonna need 2 somebodies in District 3 in order to win 1 somebody. See, you quiet too. Just like the people over there in District 3. You quiet. I'm quiet too. I'm just telling you.
No, I think that you're really correct. I'm thinking about how they have done when what's his name, Spivey came down, then the council said, well, we'll just vote for him.
Yep.
They just voted on his behalf.
Yep.
Remember what
Sure
Ken
did.
Lott did to Don Conyers? He went and told Snyder, we don't need a special election.
Well, you know that Ken Lott stay busy. Okay.
I know.
He's still busy in these elections too. But
Yep.
go ahead. He's still busy, and I don't care if he's not on the board of canvassers. He stays busy too. So that's just something to think about. That's all that I'm saying is that what are we going to do? You know, because sometimes I think we're going to have to let some stuff go to the side, just go by the wayside. It's unfortunate in order to have the bigger win. So we're looking at District 3. We probably know what may happen. And so if that happens, are we really prepared right now to have a robust campaign to support somebody who's going to have somebody's? Because the way the numbers go, to be honest with you, we probably going to have to put 2 in there to go up against Duggan's 1. And 1 we going to have to back more than the other.
That's true. But I would say that I do think that it helps to hold a spotlight on that, just to hold the light on it, so that they never get to completely crawl around in the dark like Benson has been able to do. It's terrible what they did over there. When Barbara Winder and I went out there in District 3 for you, for Anthony, and for Adam Monday with the bullhorn for a couple of different days.
Yeah.
District 3 it is so desolate.
It is.
It is so desolate.
It is.
And how dare Duggan force us to keep these criminals in his it's just terrible.
I hear you. I think that there's a lot of work, but the candidates are going to have to do some work too. I think that the candidates should have all come together and collectively should have made a lot more noise. They should have had press conferences together, right, around being kicked off the ballot. There were some other things that could have been done, but then it's that part of it too. We'll all be fighting the same fight independently, but won't come together for whatever reason. I understand in court you have to go independently, but in the community, the alarm should have been sounded, and maybe we need to start going to outside media outlets, because this media here, oh my goodness, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Like that's right. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. And so, I think that they should have just come together, because they're not going to listen to them individually. But, you have quite a few people who were kicked off the ballot. If they could have come together as a whole, they could have got more coverage and more attention around it, because it's just unfortunate. The media that we have here, they are not fair. And they will silence you until the end, until they want to bring you up and drag you all across the screen. That's the reality of our circumstances. And until we do something different, we won't have different results. So that's my opinion on District 3. We'll see what happens. But again, we still need to be holding all 9 of these council people accountable. We'll see how that works out. Thanks, Elena, for calling.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one. Bye-bye. And then are people going to go and just now everybody is comfortable? Is also what I think about this election. Now the election is over. So now everybody's going to go and take them a break for about 5 or 6 months, which means that we're going to lose all of the momentum that we built. That's a problem too. Right? That's a problem as well. There is something to be said about a lot of these new Detroiters who come from the suburbs. They have a different energy. And maybe it's because you're new to the city, right? You haven't directly suffered or endured what a lot of us have for so long. You just haven't. And so I get it. And so maybe sometimes that's why it's good to have new people with new energy, because they haven't broken your spirit yet. It would be my hope, especially those of you who supported having a fair election, that you hang in there with us, that we can all work together to increase our base, to expand the electorate so we could get good candidates in, candidates that we have more confidence in. More confidence that we say, oh, we don't even have to worry. Some of them, all we doing is just, we hoping they do the right thing. That's the reality about this new council. A lot of them, we don't know what they gonna do, because we haven't seen them. Sometimes when they've been tested, you be looking at them with one eye open, like, that look a little shaky, right? But we don't have a supermajority of council, not right now, that has been proven that they are going to stand firmly on justice and equity for the people. But I hope that they do. I hope that they do. I hope that when if there is an opportunity that presents itself to select someone for District 3, that they select a candidate that will work for the people. You know what happened to Adam? That's just, he went out there and got all them signatures too. That had that bullshiggity happen to him. And the way that they did it, didn't even tell him. He had to get a call from somebody, because we was listening to the election commission meeting. Who did that? Isn't the county clerk supposed to send you something, or the city clerk too? Or the county clerk had already sent them something because they got it from the city clerk. How that happen? But it was his campaign finance, which comes from the county clerk, that was challenged. Just like Mike Duggins and Janae Ayers. Do you notice how theirs made it to the news media and they were notified to hurry up and be able to fix the problem? But Adam Mundy wasn't. So that's what I'm saying, is that when people show you who they are, you better believe them. And I know it gets very frustrating, and I know some of us get angry because we're tired of it. But some of these things that happen in this election, we've seen over and over and over again. I think we need to change our strategy and our approach. I know that that's what I'm doing. Right? That's what I'm doing. And I think that, and it's a few others who are definitely willing to do the same thing. But my heart really goes out to Detroiters, that you are treated as if you're disposable. But for those of you who don't care and you enable and engage in this type of behavior, may you reap everything that you've sown. May you reap everything that you've sown to do to your own community. That's the best way that I can say it. But those of you who won't even come out and the vote, oh, it don't matter. All righty now, let's see how these next 4 years gonna go. Let's see how this gonna work. You have literally emboldened one of the most treacherous master manipulators when it comes to politics. And he will be sure to follow through with his agenda. This is term number 3. They say 3's a charm, right? 3's a charm. But is he really the problem, or is it us? I still don't know if I want to say Detroiters so I know Detroiters don't come out and vote, but I don't want to focus on the people as opposed to focusing on the leaders of the corruption. We have to identify them and their role in all of this as well. We have to. Yes, people should come out and vote. Yes, they should. I agree. But I'm telling you, some people intentionally were not giving their ballots. Do you know we had people we helped to turn in, to give them their absentee ballot application, even though they were supposed to get one, so then they can turn it in? And they still didn't get it, even after that. Please understand what happened in this election. Please understand, you know that a lot of our people have a lot going on. They're facing eviction, all kind of stuff. Unemployment is cut off. We have mental illness. It's a lot going on. I'm not making up any excuses, but until somebody kind of shakes them and makes them aware, that's why they came out to vote last year. It's because people were continuously just harping on them, reaching out. You had so many different entities reaching out to make sure that people in Detroit came to vote last year. It was unbelievable to go to maybe someone not touching you at all to maybe just getting one or two touches. Come on. I can't tell you how many people that we called and how many doors we knocked and they hadn't seen anybody. How many, and all of this mess about everybody going in these senior homes, they a lie. They a lie for a lot of them, because I was there. I was there and had been back to some of them twice and they still hadn't seen nobody. So this is all by design. And some people claim they worked hard and they didn't. That's because they already knew what it was going to be. We have to have better. But we all live on a block where it's somebody. Stop talking to them about, well, the DDA is getting everything. You have to tell them, look, they taking what they supposed to give you and they giving it to the rich people downtown. That's how you get people to listen, okay? Start talking to them like that. You businesses who not getting your fair share of all of this revenue and these entrepreneurial programs coming in here, let me tell you where it's going. Let me tell you why you not getting it. Because you was never on the list. That's why. The reason why your grandmama or the neighbor on your block, I keep telling you, only got 1 or 2 steps and she's supposed to have 4. Because they going to put it into them bike lanes and into that river walk. See, those are facts. It's not my opinion. I remember when I was campaigning for the primary, this white man moved here from New York going to ask me, are you done complaining? Is there anything that you like about the city? I said, you ever had your water shut off since you've been here? He said, no. I said, how many properties you own? He owned at least probably like 3. I said, you ever had your lights cut off? Have they stuck a yellow note on your door yet? He said, no. I said, I don't expect you to understand or to complain. That's why this conversation not for you. Because obviously you don't have the empathy for the majority of others who are going through this. And some of those people being hit with all of those things that I just said. I get so sick of people talking about somebody complaining. I'm telling you the reality. Right? But because you lived a privileged life, so you don't want to hear it. No. You don't want to hear it. But you also don't care about those who going through it. That's why I tell you, you better be careful about these folks with these Black Lives Matter signs. Do it really matter? Or is it just the Black lives that they say that matter? Just like this election. They was going to dictate who was really going to turn out and vote, because those are the people that they were going to make sure turned out and vote. And they were going to keep this information secret from everybody else. See, we got too much of that. Yeah, I know your quality of life is different coming from out of state, from a progressive city, or coming from the suburbs here in Michigan. But you still have so much more of an advantage than the majority of Detroiters who have been here. And so that's why I do appreciate those of you who come in here with new energy and be like, hell no, they better get this together for elections, right? You strongly believe in exercising democracy. You are like, this is not right, and we need to do something about it. Now, I wish you would help us do something about some of these other things, but if we just gonna start with the election process, let's start there. Because if we, I'm not gonna say fix it all together, but if we could do better, then things will start to change. Otherwise, it is what it is, and this is what it's gonna be. And when Mike Duggan gone, it's just gonna be replaced with another one. When these problem council people gone, they just gonna be replaced with another one. This work, this election in Detroit politics is not for the faint of heart. They the first ones that they prey on. The first ones. And Duggan has, I'm quite sure he's already identified his 5, 6, or whatever. I hope he don't have that many. Lord, I hope he don't have that many. But we also need to hold them accountable. Apply pressure to the council. Hold them accountable so he's not allowed to do what he has been doing. Not to that degree, right? Not to that degree. Look at this. You were number 19 voting in District 7 at 445. But we had 98,000 people come out and vote. When only 40,000 absentee ballots had been returned like the day before or something like that. And we know for a fact, that means you still had another 20-something. Even if you had another 15, 20,000, you didn't have that many people at the polls, and you just did not have that many people in line waiting to drop off their absentee ballot. Something is wrong with the numbers. Where did these people come from? Where did all of these ballots come from? They just appeared. And that's the sad thing about it. They just appeared. And I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to stop voting. That's not what I'm telling you. But I do want you to be more aware. Some of you probably just looked and was like, oh, well, Duggan got back in, but at least we have some new members on council. I am glad we got 6 new members. But how did we get there? Is this really a benefit to us? Because if we just focus on that and we don't focus on the injustice that has been done to us, then the next time the injustice will be greater is what I'm trying to tell you. Now, 2022, and we're going to have a conversation about this. We have some opportunities to make some change. You got those people who are going to be running who went against Proposal P. Don't forget their name. Don't forget their name. And we have some new people who want to run. Won't be me, but I'm saying we have some new people want to run for county commissioner, state rep, senator. You know, then you got that secretary of state and that governor and that, Lord have mercy, that AG. We sure enough was supporting her, wasn't we? Look at there. But I still want you to get out and vote. But I'm just saying there's an opportunity maybe to leverage our power, to apply some pressure in certain areas where they don't go back in for another term, taking us for granted. Because all 3 of them have. All 3 of them have. Anytime you support suppressing the vote of people trying to take away our right to vote, but then you're going to turn right back around and ask us for your support, for our support for you. They only do that because we majority Black. That's why. Black folks going to stop being the path to least resistance. You are at some point, either by choice or because they're going to eliminate you. Now, it's going to be one of the two. But don't just start jumping up, applauding nobody, and you know what they did to you. You can't take issue with the person and not the behavior. Trump did the same thing, and you up in arms, but you not up in arms when these women do it to us. Come on now. This is why don't nobody take us seriously, because you can't make up your mind. It's supposed to be about the action, not the person. If the action is wrong for one, then it's wrong for all. when you're launching an attack on someone, on a community. Wake up, people. This why folks moving to the suburbs. Yeah, everything might not be 50-50 and be fair, but God, it's just not as eventful of a life. You have to fight everything in this city. Everything. You gotta fight. You gotta fight to make sure that you have people who work for you, to respect you. You have to fight to get access to money that was actually allocated for you. You have to fight just to live without somebody not harming you or stealing from you. You have to fight to keep your property. You have to fight. You just gotta fight all the damn time. You gotta fight for somebody not to come in your neighborhood and change the name of where you live. Then you gotta fight for them to stop putting up this mess in your neighborhood that you know. You live there now. You gotta navigate through this community. And it's frustrating, right? It's an obstacle for you. But then they do it, and then they gone back home where they don't have to deal with it. See, it's a fight for everything. It's too much fighting and not enough wins. That's what I want you to understand. Come on. I hope y'all gonna want better this time. I hope you understand those numbers and what they mean. Because if we don't get smarter, and this is what I want to leave you with, if we don't get smarter, what's going to happen is they're going to do it to us again next year. Okay, so what's after? Oh, so then after the gubernatorial election, then what comes up? The presidential election. And you know that doggone, that Trump is working hard. He like a gnat. You just can't never catch him and just, stop him. See, you're going to let all of them national organizations, this is what I want you to do. When those national organizations start blowing up your phone, your email, text messages, and everything, I want you to text back. Don't tell them how you going to vote, right? Because I know a lot of you, we ain't voting for Trump. Don't tell them how you going. Ask them, where were you in 2021? That's what I want you to text back or email back. Where were you in 2021? When the Secretary of State want to send somebody to your community block to talk to you about the importance of voting, and all of these bills are on the books for the Republicans to take away our right to vote, well, where were you when the Democrats was doing it? Where were you in 2021? You got to start asking people that. Make them answer. Where were they in 2021 is what we want to understand. Don't forget about what happened this year. How nobody showed up for your community to make sure that the masses came out to vote. But they just did it last year. And they made money off of it. And they made money off of you coming out to vote. So when Gretchen and all of them get to coming around and Jocelyn Benson, where were you in 2021? For the presidential election, where were you for Detroit in 2021? Stop letting these people come up in your face with this bull crap. Stay focused. Where were you in 2021? Because if they don't give a damn about your local election, they don't care about you. All politics is local is what I'm telling you. Stop being so friendly all the time, chinning and grinning. And I don't want to hear nobody telling me about, well, we don't have no other choice. Oh, my Lord, I'm so sick of that. It's not about who the opponent is. It's about how they treat you. I don't care if they get Humpty Dumpty to come run against Gretchen or none of them, or even against Biden. It's about how they treated you. And you must let somebody know that you were mistreated. That's what I'm telling you. And that they better respect you. They don't respect you. That's why they do this to you. This year alone, you had them same people who coming to your election next year, coming for your vote next year, who sat up here and said you don't deserve any better. You don't even deserve to vote on one of the most progressive and equitable charters ever. across the country. Because see, they don't want Detroit to get that credibility. They want you to only get the credibility for having a bunch of FBI investigations. See, that's cool with them because that's when they go radioactive silent. Oh, well, I don't know. We have to see. Nobody's been charged, and I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. I don't know. That's all you hear. I don't know. Right? That's what you hear. But when it's something they want from you, when it's something that they want from you, ooh, they loud. They screaming it from the mountaintop. So you remember to ask them, where were they in 2021? What did they do? You don't want to hear nothing about, well, Detroiters don't vote. And when somebody tell you Detroiters don't vote and they ask you for your vote, I promise you on everything, this is what you say. Then what the hell you in my face for? Or why you on my phone? Or why you in my email, in my inbox? Why you in my inbox on social media? Why you pop, when you know how they had the advertisements and stuff, the social media ads, you need to comment, why are you advertising if Detroiters don't vote? If we don't vote, then why you in my face? Why you worrying me? Because they worrisome. And they relentless and they won't stop. That's what you asked them. Do you understand that even with 14 to 18%, we still have more people to vote than in any of these other cities? That's what, and I'm not saying that's a good number because I really am frustrated with some of y'all who knew that there was an election, you didn't come out to vote. But understand those numbers. They always want to tell you that we don't get anything because we don't vote. Well, if Birmingham turned out 40%, right? Birmingham, Michigan, Southfield, Royal, if they turned out 30 to 40%, but our 18% is still more than they 30 to 40, then why the hell they get everything? And we have more people to come out and vote. Do you ever think about that? No, you just let them sell you that bill of goods. Yeah, we do have a voting turnout problem around here. That's right. That's right. But we still have more people voting. You ever think about that? And I got y'all running around here. Folks don't vote in Detroit. No, not enough people vote in the city of Detroit. That's the problem. But you still have more voter turnout in Detroit than you do in them other cities, in them suburbs. And look at how they live. And they got good city services. They wish a person would get to speeding up and down the street, and the city council and the mayor gonna talk about giving them a speed hump instead of making sure that we get city services and resources to stop the problem. I'm telling you, y'all playing the fool. Let's take a caller. This is gonna be the last caller. Good morning. Welcome to the Nicole Small Show.
Good morning, Nicole. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Stevetta, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I just want to tell you, you have been telling the truth all morning. I mean, as they say, tell the truth and shame the devil.
Well, we just did.
But, the thing is, what gets me is that I'm glad you include the news media because they've been a big problem. And, that's the reason why they had to go to a media online instead of, a daily. Because when we boycott, and we need to stop even reading them on online because they are part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now they the biggest part of the problem.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to realize that the media is the biggest business all over the country.
That's right.
And now all of a sudden, if you notice, now they started showing, it's a problem about the water issue. Now they keep showing that on the news. It's a problem about garbage pickup. I don't know if folks noticed. I noticed that the other day, but then my niece was telling me about it. She said it's been a problem about people and the tires coming in.
That's right.
We got tires over at this house down the street over here where we live at. We've been calling about.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's a problem. She said, well, where was it? Well, how come they didn't mention it when folks was running about?
That's right.
I said, Crystal, I said, that's by design.
Yeah.
And my biggest concern is we don't have no black leaders, okay?
Ooh.
All of them from community, from your Joe Love community activists to your preachers.
And I don't know, and look.
And to your political leaders.
But wait a minute, some of them
telling all of them, shut your mouth.
But some of them not community activists. They just community active. Period. They just acting. They just community actors, and that's the problem too. They pretending. So we do need some change. I agree with you. I agree.
Oh yeah, and the leadership, and we need leadership. We didn't have no leadership in your congressional, in our local, in our state senators.
Wait, they mad, and they mad. We got to talk about this tomorrow though, about Rashida Tlaib and her vote. Ooh, they mad at her. But go ahead. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
But that's what I'm saying. Why you mad?
You mad at Rashida Tlaib, but you not mad. This is my whole thing. But you not mad at them jokers down there who vote to increase your water, who support you being overtaxed and them taking your home. You not mad at them who took the money that the federal government gave to you for your neighborhood or for you directly and gave it to some rich folks. You not mad about that. You not mad about the chairs of the 13th and the 14th congressional district who open up the damn floodgates for everybody else to come in here and have a role in Detroit politics. That's the division. You not mad at these so-called institutions and organizations who keep endorsing these people who you know got the knife to your throat. You not mad about that though, because they black. It's black folks who do the best job of black exploitation is the part that kill me. But I agree with you. That's why we don't have real leaders, because you know what? They support people based on their agenda, and their agenda ain't worth. But go ahead. I ain't even gonna say nothing.
You telling the truth. That's what I'm saying. We don't have any.
Black men standing up here, chinning and grinning. Did you see all of them folks? That doggone victory party for Mike Duggan sure enough told me a lot. It was some new faces in there who always trying to pretend like, oh, I can't, Mike Duggan taking everything. He taking everything. Yeah. Well, he done took your soul.
I did too. I saw some folks and I said, oh my God, I was surprised. But
yeah.
Hey, no, I wasn't surprised, but I was just concerned. I said, and they said, yeah, okay.
Be who you are. That's all I got to say. Be who you are. Be who you are. That's why I keep telling you, I don't have as much of a problem with the people who just tell us up front. It's these other ones who always trying to hide behind a mask of justice, behind a mask of black power and black liberation, right? When you ain't doing nothing but black exploitation. Get out my face with that. And I get so sick of them using the names of those who definitely have done the work and talking about getting into good trouble. You ain't getting into nothing but a bunch of doggone corruption.
Oh, girl, please. Coleman, Buddy Battles, my father, a bunch of folks, they over there rolling in their graves.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
When they saw this bullshit,
yep.
Don't even come over.
Yep.
Don't even come over with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And you know what? Think about our history. See, this is how folks rewrite our history, right? How many terms? I need to look. How many terms did Coleman Young serve? 1, 2, 73, 4, right? Because he left in 94 or something like that, 92.
And the first thing the news media say, well, this is Douglas Third. He's trying to.
That's what I was going to tell you. That's what I was going to tell you.
And I said, what? I said, no, you ain't even put Coleman's mouth in his. Don't put Coleman's mouth name in his.
Well, listen, he's already served more. So he's going to serve more terms than Dennis Archer, who's black, than Dave Bing, than Ken Cockrell with his 2-month stint. I'm just saying. He going to be able to serve more terms than Coleman Young. It's about erasing our legacy and our history. That's what this is about too. That's how you really gain power. In a minute, when all of us are gone, won't nobody be talking about Coleman Young? And you know why? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. You better look at who was standing over there. And I keep telling you, you don't have any in our local. Don't have no black leadership.
And what mayor have we ever had where you didn't know they chief of staff? Where that doggone chief of staff that he got that white Trisha woman who we don't never ever see? But when Alexis Wiley had her doggone pathetic self in there, people were sure enough calling her name because she was black. You don't say nothing about this white woman. I bet you if we went around, people know Alexis Wiley was the chief of staff, right? Because she was the henchman to take the rest of the black folks down. But that doggone white woman, Trisha, don't nobody know who she is because they don't never mention. Why don't the media ever make her come out? What do she do to earn her income is what I'm saying. And she been a chief of staff for a year now. Don't nobody even know her. See how black folks let this go down? And you ain't even gonna make that white woman do her job.
Well, let's even talk about who all on the 13th floor with her.
That part. We don't even know if she's in this city. You don't even know if she's in this country. You're paying a chief of staff for the mayor, and you don't even know if she's in this city or in this country. That's all that I'm saying. Who does that? She is the chief of staff of the largest city in this entire state. Who does that? Who allows that to happen? You let him go without a debate. You got a city council who don't even say nothing about it either. Where's she at? Maybe we need to put her on the milk cart and ask somebody, do you know where she at or on the screen on the freeway? Because I haven't seen her. Where's she at? And all of these black organizations and these black leaders who lead, they don't say nothing about her either. And don't even tell him, hey man, what's she doing? What's she doing? Where is she at?
Like I said, Nicole, find our black leadership and we'll decide what the choices is all about.
Well, I agree with you on that, Steve. Better. That's a great point. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. All right, you too. All right, y'all. We will be back here tomorrow on the Nicole Small Show. I appreciate you all. Be safe and have a great day. Thank you.